Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. And today's video is a little bit late just because I didn't want to ruin the Mother's Day surprise from my mom. So I made her this beautiful card using a mixture of Lawn Fawn and Waffle Flower products. I used the embroidery hoop from Lawn Fawn with the heart cutout. It's part of the frame itself. And I stitched that off screen just because it did take me a little bit of time. I think it took me an hour or so to do it. And if you guys want me to post a pattern, I can definitely make one digitally, but I kind of just did like this ombre heart where I did blocks of color, but like in between the colors I did an alternating row so that it was the like top color and then the next color alternating in one row, and then the middle section and the bottom section had an alternating row between them just to help, transition those colors a little bit better. But again, if anybody's interested in a pattern, I can make one probably quickly on Illustrator and then post that here on YouTube as part of my community's posts. Just let me know. But anyway, I'm also using the postage collage blocks dies from Waffle Flower. I ended up cutting this out last week for a Halloween card, and I still had the frame left over, so I figured I would use that frame for this card. I also cut the frame out of like a pattern paper that I had laying around from an old Michaels pack, and I wanted to kind of alternate pattern paper with solid cardstock. So I cut the background in pink color, and then I picked this floral pattern and I'm kind of inlaying the boxes. You'll notice the bottom one I put on upside down according to the print, but this one's gonna get mostly covered anyway. So I just wanted, that bottom left corner to have some pattern in it. I do end up putting the acetate on it, but that was just kind of like for consistency's sake, so that there's acetate over all of the patterned paper sections. But it technically didn't really need it, but it adds a little bit of support to my embroidery hoop. Anyway, I'm not even going to add shaker bits to that section. I'm just going to add it to the bigger sections where you'll be able to see them. And I'm not adding a lot either. I just added a little bit. My mom loves shaker cards and interactive cards, so I tend to do a lot of those for her. And this one is a shaker card, so it'll be fun. Just that little bit of sparkle and shake that it needs. Also, you'll notice when I placed those pattern papers, I placed the frame down first and then put the pieces in, making sure that I place the frame where I want the final frame to go. I did this because I know that every time I do this, I put the acetate on the frame and then I'm like, crap, I didn't put the inside pieces in first, and then it's a lot harder to line that up. So if you're gonna be backing your sections in different colors or different patterns or whatever, I suggest you lay your frame out on your backing piece, put in your pieces where they belong, and then take the frame back out. And then you can use that frame or a different frame, however you're going to do it, a little bit easier. Because once you put the acetate on it, it will be extremely hard to line up. So if I was to do a whole background color, it would be fine to throw this frame on top and it would be a problem. But if you're going to be doing these sections, then you definitely want to make sure you do that frame technique first. So as you'll see now, I'm just using my scrapbook.com 1/8 inch foam strips. These are really easy to use on these types of frames. I also use some of my, I think it's Studio Katya melted icicle confetti bits. The Studio Katya is no longer in business, and these are a little bit more on the yellow side. They're supposed to be like clear holographic confetti, but again, a little bit more on the yellow side. So it kind of like worked with this card because the base of the card is pinks and the colors are a little bit warmer other than like the blues in the floral print, but overall like there's a warm tone to this card. I used pinks for the heart. I used like a warm brown on the frame, And then I'm going to do the same when I color the mouse that's going to go on the top right corner, the one that's also holding the frame. So the layout for this card and the story behind it is the little mouse made this little cross-stitched heart, and he's kind of like showcasing it, and then you get like the close-up of it, and then on the inside of the card I'm going to put "You are so amazing" sentiment along with the cute little mouse that has like the thimble on his head. So you'll see me stamp and color those here in a second, and I'll just play some music while I do that and come back once that's done. Okay, now that that's all done, I use my Brother ScanNCut to cut these out as always. Well, not as always, I do have dies for some things. But anyway, I use my ScanNCut to cut these out. It was a little bit off in some areas, which again, not a problem, I can just trim those. And I did that on the hoop here, so you can see the little mouse has his cute little embroidered or cross-stitched heart, and he's showing it off, and then you see the close-up of it at the bottom in actual like real life. And I could have added a lot more to the front of this card, but I don't, because that's not my style. I don't go too overboard on things. I did find that I wanted to color in this like border here to like help blend in the pink. I probably should have used that first pink. There was a reason I didn't, but it looked like it blended a bit better. I think I ended up using both colors in the end just because like the one pink was a little bit too hot pink, and then I kind of used the other color for the rest of it. But I just like the way that it kind of makes it pop a little bit better, and there's like less white going on in that area. And then this little guy, I again could have added him to the front of the card, but it kind of felt like it was unbalanced, so I'm going to add him to the inside. I do find that the card is a little bit plain though, so you'll see that I take some of like the elements and stamp those into the pink areas. Like I took a pair of scissors, I think a spool of thread, and there's like this mini heart in the set as well. And for all of my like sentiment and background stamping, I'm going to be using Lawn Fawn's raspberry ink because it was like a pretty good match to like the hot pink that I had used in the hoop, and I just kind of wanted to bring that somewhere else into the card because the rest of the card is pretty muted and mellow. So just to bring that pop of brighter pink, I used like that raspberry color. And then there's me gluing this little guy on the inside. I ended up coloring his thimble pink as well because the gray on gray just wasn't working for me. And again, it brought that pink throughout. And then here's where I'm like, this card needs a little bit more. So again, I'm gonna pull out the scissors, the little spool of thread for this bottom area. I'm gonna just stamp a bunch of hearts around the other two sections. And I probably should have done it as a second generation stamping just so it was a little bit more muted, or I could have even done this in Versamark ink to make it a little more subtle. But I do like that I added something there because it just helps fill in those areas and make them a little less plain. But that's pretty much our card for today, guys. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, including my own. I will be giving you a call at some point today, Mum. I hope you like your card and your cording video. Steph should be passing it off to you, so make sure you don't open it before this video, or else it's not a surprise. But yeah, so thanks for joining me for today, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and head on over to my Instagram and Facebook for additional content. And until next time, thanks guys, bye.